Once again, welcome to the Weeb Lounge, and the anime we're going over today is High School of the Dead. It's almost a stereotypical big titty girl, blood, massacre, mess, zombie flick, but actually does it really well. Now, if you don't know about High School of the Dead by now, then you probably haven't been watching anime all that long. High School of the Dead has kind of become I don't know if you call it a cult classic or whatnot, but it's basically a sci-fi horror zombie flick with a lot of TNA and Eki stuff mixed in, a la anime slash hentai-ish. Okay, let's just get to the characters on this. Takashi. Takashi is the main guy or whatever. You know, he's kind of aloof, kind of laid back or whatever, just kind of a casual personality. Sometimes he skips classes, sometimes whatever. It's not a guy that just like really stands out and such, but you know, he gets in his fair share of scuffles and everything, knows how to fight, and actually turns out to be somewhat of a good leader, I guess. He basically has a few girls lauding over him, right? One of them is Ray. Ray is the best friend and knew her since like kindergarten or something like that. Very athletic, knows how to fight, like jujitsu or judo or you know whatever the heck it is. She can kind of be a little bit of a perv at times though. She really likes Takashi, but was sick and tired of basically waiting for him to confess or take a step further or whatever. So she took it upon herself to go get a boyfriend who, in the first episode, gets killed, turned to a zombie. Well, that issue's out of the way, I guess. So Ray, you know, this is a little thing I have an issue with. It happens in a lot of anime where the childhood friend is kind of waiting and waiting and waiting for this guy to make a move or whatever, okay? This is a two-way street. Humanity. This is a two-way street, okay? It can go either or. Either one can make the move. It doesn't have to be just the guy all the time. Just putting it out there. Okay, don't mean to get all social on people. All right, next character, Sayako. Sayako is this, well, they're all huge tits. They're all busty as hell. So just describe her as, oh, it's a big busty girl. It's like all of them in this, pretty much. So they're all like big, busty, slender, sexy as all hell. It's almost like they all have the exact same body type, except for slightly different personalities and hair color, okay? I'll just put it out there. Not that I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. It's fine. Psycho, she is a good fighter. Really good fighter. She's like in the kendo club, right? She knows how to use swords, and you know, even with a wooden sword, I guess she can cause some damage. It's kind of like that little bit of a stereotype, or whatever. She's so good, even though wooden sword is deadlier than a real one, kind of deal, right? Later on in the series, she gets a real sword, and she's very, very adept at sword fighting, lopping off zombie heads, and it actually gets to a point where, you know, there's one scene where she is just going maniacal. Okay, murdering zombies left and right. Her skills are just incredible in terms of fighting. She is going all over the place, and it just cuts to a scene where it has a subtitle by it. It says, "I got wet" or "I'm wet" and everything. She is sadistic as shit. Early on, she's not really like that. I mean, there's hints and everything, but the zombie apocalypse really brings it out of her. She is sadistic as all shit. She gets off on offing zombies, okay? Not offing zombies I'm not doing the hand motion. You guys know what I mean. Killing zombies gets her off, and that is the sadistic nature of her. But you know, she's probably famous for that scene and the other famous scene, the boob bullet dodge. Okay, where her boobs are flopping around like this. Somebody like, I think it was Saya, back with the sniper rifle trying to shoot one of the zombies as they had a barricade holding them off and everything. And she goes and like dodges the bullet mid-thing and her boobs go whoop like that. And the bullet goes, it is stupid as hell, but it's great. It's so stupid, it's great. I mean, if you got the talent to do that, you have the talent to do many things. Many things. Okay, never mind. Next character, Saya. Saya is a genius. Incredibly intellectual girl, but she's also really stubborn and all full of herself, right? She, she's so incredibly smart, she kind of looks down at everyone else as dumbasses, all right? That's kind of her flow. It also happens to be my favorite character. She can be a bit of a badass when she wants to. She got her glasses and her pigtails and everything, but it's great. It's fine. Just as sexy as the rest of them, but she's got the mind. She's incredibly intelligent, and intelligence is sexy. Remember that. She's one of the ones early on that finds out the little unique trait for this zombie apocalypse flick. Now, every zombie apocalypse, maybe at least one's worth their salt, takes a slightly different spin on how these zombies react, or really focuses on different kind of characters. In this one, she's the first to find out that the zombies are essentially pretty much blind. Not 100% blind, but mostly blind, and the zombies are actually using sound, kind of like a sonar-ish kind of deal. That's how they detect who's who, what's where, and everything. And so if you see a big old horde of zombies, and you can creep by them slowly and cautiously enough without making a sound, you can get right through them. She finds this out, thankfully for her, very early on. And later in the series, she kind of sort of gets feelings for Takeshi, because Rei and Saeko, both of them are basically childhood friends, okay? They've known each other since like kindergarten or even before, and they both kind of have a thing for Takashi, but Saya, that develops a little later on, and actually Saya might end up hooking up with someone else, that being Kota. Kota, he's a fat gun nerd. That's what he is. He's what they refer to as a gun otaku. Basically, he's into airsoft rifles and stuff like that. He has all knowledge, everything, like military, weapons, vehicles, all this stuff. He has just incredible knowledge on it just because he's a huge fan of it. He's an otaku. He is weaving out on weapons, okay? That's the deal with him. But he has a lot of experience, apparently, with airsoft rifles. And if anybody uses airsoft rifles, you kind of know how realistic they can start to get. You can even convert some airsoft rifles into actually fully functional guns. It's possible to do that. Or so I've heard. Don't come knocking on my door or nothing, FBI. We're good. I'm not gonna... That's falling off my ceiling. Okay, I'll get to that later. But being an airsoft gun nerd and everything actually gives him a very useful skill in the zombie apocalypse, meaning he knows how to operate any weapons that they come across. And on top of that, through his practice and use of apparently airsoft guns, he is actually an incredibly good marksman. So when it comes to putting a bullet through the brain of a zombie at a distance, he holds his own. He can even get pretty crafty in terms of like engineering stuff. He can just take like a nail gun or something and rework it a little bit and kind of turn it into like an actual gun. Not quite as effective, but hey, if it gets the job done, it gets the job done. Stick a nail in a zombie's head or whatever, I'm sure things are all good. And there's also a few other characters floating around, like one of the student teachers or council or something like that. And there's also a little kid that they kind of have to take along with and protect. And overall, it's actually a really good zombie flick. I mean, there's a lot of ecchi moments. There's the boob dives. There's the boobs everywhere. They're everywhere. And you got the OVA episode where they're all... It's the OVA episode's like this far from a hentai. They do everything except for the part that puts the X on it. You know what I mean? Just before you have to start censoring and reclassify. So... if you're looking for a show that has a good zombie arc, relatable characters, likable characters, TNA nonstop, bullet boob dodging, it's High School of the Dead. It's hands down High School of the Dead. And, there were all these rumors and everything that, we're going to get a High School of the Dead season 2. And there was like on again, off again kind of deal trying to get that season going. It could still happen. I mean, it's still popular. It's still a cult classic. It could just pop up out of nowhere and, hey, High School of the Dead season 2, great. Wonderful. I'll watch it. Maybe not for the same reasons as... No, it'd be for the same reasons as everyone else. Definitely the same reasons. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button. In terms of zombie flicks, this one gets 2 thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video.